here today. Okay, so you might have seen over the last few days, I've been sharing about doing weight loss retreats. And the reason, I don't know if did I share last week? Why? No, I didn't, did I? So the reason I thought about doing retreats was something really random, actually. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and in actual fact, when we first introduced Ultimate Detox, which was in 2022, we were talking about it then, but they just sort of went by the by. And then on when I was sick and I couldn't do any work, I just sort of had random things come up on Facebook, and there was Say Yes to the Dress, the wedding dress thing that came up. And I don't mind that because I quite like looking at people in clothing and stuff. But then there was Perfy Say Yes to the Dress, and there was there was this very quite an upmarket boutique that's in the middle of nowhere for plus size ladies to get their wedding dresses. And I was watching this, and I heard the stories of these lovely ladies who found it so distressing going shopping for their clothing, and how these ladies who own the shop were counseling them basically to make them feel better for themselves. And then I thought, we could train these people, you know, to let go of weight. And by doing a retreat, it's a sort of like it's a environment where it's nurturing, and basically people can share experiences and stuff. So that's where the retreat idea came from. And so that was sort of like a weekend retreat. And then over the weekend, because I put the post up, and I was blown away with the amount of people who were interested in it. And then I thought to myself, I could do day retreats. So we could travel around the country and do day retreats. So we could do a getting started retreat, and then the next day we do in 3 months. So basically, a getting started retreat, and then in 3 months' time, we could do a catch up retreat where we can see how progress and share experiences and obviously share more information and share everything. And so basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go to various different locations in the country, in the North Island at the moment, and basically go every 3 months to that location and have a getting started retreat, and then the next day is a follow-up retreat. And so that is what we're going to be doing. And so basically the getting started retreat will do weigh and measures, and we'll do our there's all sorts of stuff I've got going on in my head, and I'm not going to go through that at the moment. But it's I'm really excited about it, in case you didn't gather. And then of course we're going to go to France and do one with Rachel. And then, so basically I'm really quite excited about this. So I'd love to know your thoughts and anything that comes to mind that you would like to have included. Sorry, I'm just going to let my dog out because she's just decided to bark. So excuse me.
Gorgeous dogs, those ones.
You can't hear her, can you?
No.
No. She's been barking like mad. It's really interesting. Anyway, so Sarah, your thoughts, because you
Um,
unmuted yourself.
it was only to talk about how lovely your dogs are. Um, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I think especially because my part of the North Island doesn't get visited often, so I'm looking forward to that being part of the
Area.
plan.
It would
Yep,
definitely be down your area. And the other
yep.
dogs go out now.
Yes, for me, traveling is a little bit challenging at times, and but it's going to get better. It is better. It's going to get better. So yes, I'm excited. Lots of new stuff happening. Lots
Yeah.
of new growth and birth and the
Connection.
butterflies hatching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Connection.
yeah,
Yeah. That's what I
connection.
love.
I really I like that aspect rather than it always being a Zoom thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in-person stuff is important. Mm,
I think we need that, don't we? Really, we
yeah,
need the in-person connection, and
I
I
think
think
so.
many of us are missing it, you know, especially
Mm,
if you work from home.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm. So, yes, so that's my ideas around the retreats. And yeah, so we're going to be doing, obviously, up the first one's Labour weekend. So, Rachel, for you, it's towards the end of October because you won't know Labour weekend, and up here in Paihia. And so we're going to have the sort of the days at my house, and then we're going to find accommodation for people. So for the weekends, we're only going to do maximum of 6 people. So it's going to be quite intimate retreats. So people can really get. And then for the accommodation, we're looking at an Airbnb house close to us. So that's to be arranged. So it depends on interest and amount of people. So yeah. So that is the retreat idea. And I haven't heard of any other weight loss retreats in New Zealand. So I know in the UK there's health clubs and things where they used to pummel people and do all sorts of stuff, didn't they? But I don't know of any here. Retreat type thing. So yeah. So looking forward to that. Okay. So Rachel was talking about rebounders for lymph. So Gillian, have you got a rebounder?
I haven't. I have had in the past. I think there might be one out in the shed, but and a lot of people with the lipedema do use the rebounders, but I think um and where I'm at the moment, just with it's probably easy to do. The rebound is probably better for me because I can do that sitting down rather than having to stand up. Um, and so I think, yeah, they're both good for lymphatics.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
there is a rebounder where there's a bar that you can hold on to. So
yeah,
that's really
yeah,
quite good. Yeah.
yeah.
I think that could
Um,
be something you maybe could look into because they are really good because it actually gets you really moving.
yeah.
I know
The
it's very different to the Vibratrain because the
Yeah.
Vibratrain are great, but they do have electromagnetic frequencies that can throw some people out.
No, I think there's two different kinds. There's one like a Revita thing that's like a really small board, and that has the electromagnets in it. But then there's also the big plates that um you can stand on or sit on, and I don't think that they have any electromagnetic things in them. Um, and there, like I've got a lymphatic drainage therapist, and she said for me the vibration plate is good because it's actually helping build up muscle in my legs as well as doing the drainage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. They still got electromagnetic fields because they're electric. So
Oh, okay, okay, right. Yeah.
yes. Okay, so it'd be great to hear how you get on with that because you've been
Yeah.
doing it for a little bit, haven't you?
Um, I had stopped after surgery, so I'm just getting back into the
Okay.
vibration ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. One got
Now,
any
now, yeah, now I like the idea of the retreats.
mm,
And I'd support Sarah in having one in the Wellington
mm,
Kapiti area.
yeah.
Um, but with having to travel and that, but for me, the cost because with the cost of travel, it would be I'd prefer to do like at least a 2-day one or something rather than a one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah. So I think we will definitely be looking at 2-day ones as well. So we're not just going to do the 1-day ones. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because you've got to come up from Invercargill, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. So that would
I'm
be
sure we can find something for day 2, make it worthwhile.
absolutely Gillian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do some one-on-one stuff
Mm.
with one of us or two of us or whatever. We can find things to do. That's for
Mm.
sure. Yeah,
But
you can.
it's quite an idea, isn't it, Karen? Like, to have it as an option for a second day for
Yeah.
those who would like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah,
Something to
so
toy
that's
with.
that's why we're sort of like thinking of doing the getting started one, which will be also people for getting kick started because many people do the program, release the weight and stuff, and then get a bit stagnant. And so by getting started again, you can get started again and you can set new goals, because goals are really important to set no matter where you're at. I think, I don't know about you, but with my life, I'm always setting new goals. Once I've achieved one, I set new ones, or before I achieve them, I set new ones too. So, but it's always good to celebrate along the way. So with the retreats, we're planning on doing quite a lot of different things. So, for example, the first one, I've been approached by a lady who's an expert with EFT, and so I don't know if you guys know what EFT is, but basically it's using tapping and rejigging your neuro pathways, and so it's quite an interesting aspect. I'm talking about this with her tomorrow. And then also I've been approached by a photographer to take photos, before and after photos. We'll do the before photos. The photographer doesn't need to do before photos, but doing a photo shoot after doing a program for a bit. And so I thought that'd be quite fun. So it's doing fun things. So it's not all just about learning about things, but it's doing fun things, eating good food and that sort of thing. So yeah. So we all like eating good food, that's for sure. So important. Yeah. So thanks for the feedback, Julia. Anyone else got feedback about the retreats? Anything else you want to share, would like to have?
Well, just about the retreats, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I think the one day one is quite good for if it's close by, but like Gillian said, if there's a distance, well then an overnight stay somewhere is probably a good idea, and make it into 2 nights. Just depends on costing, I suppose, for people.
Yeah, that's it.
During the autumn. Yeah.
I think that's why we were thinking of going to areas where, people can come from a distance, but it's not prohibitive. It doesn't take hours and hours and hours to get there. So I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at one here up north, probably Whangarei, Auckland. These are for the day retreat. Tauranga, maybe Rotorua, and down either Kapiti or Wellington for the time being, and then see how they go. And yeah, photos are terrifying. I agree with you 100%, Rachel. Yeah, unless playing with AI. Well, the thing is when you feel good in your body, they're not so terrifying, are they? You never used to be terrified of having your photo done, did you? No.
Sorry, I lose the button to press for the sound there. Well, it's a deep journey, isn't it, Karen? Because I think it's so much more complex, actually. The whole way we perceive ourselves, look at ourselves, what we say yes to, what we consent to, when we don't listen to ourselves inside and our nose or our horrors that come up. I think there's different layers of it. Do you know what I mean? And a photograph is one thing, but I want to share. And in fact, I'm going to bring it to the group if I can get hold of it next week. I was recently, and this is a time when I knew Karen. Now, I'm going to show you a photograph where I was like, I'm going to say the word stick thin, which I don't like as the word, but it is relatively like that. I'm holding my son, my first child, so he's 30, so 30 years ago. And I look at this picture and I'm telling you guys, there's no curviness on me at all, or little bits. I had a baby, like maybe he's 8 months old, 6 months old, maybe less, right? I thought I was fat. And that is a devastatingly shocking experience to see that photograph. It's in a frame. I've got my ex-husband, or we're all dolled up to go to a wedding, and sorry, that's when you know that you are deeply suffering with body dysmorphia. So I'm talking about that type of emotional mental health experience, Karen, not just a photograph. I'm talking about like when you're really dealing with a misconception or a feeling of not being comfortable in your body, of really feeling displaced from yourself because you're not in yourself. You
Yeah.
know, so those times where you can say yes to a photograph aren't necessarily a full present connected self, are they? Do you know? And that's the bit that I'm with when I talk about it. I'm talking about it slightly humorously, but it's not at all humorous. It's actually horrific. I can't look in a mirror and haven't been able to look in a mirror for years. I can't look at myself. Literally, I can't, because I cannot relate to that person. I can't see myself. You know, it's like a few times I have a mother-in-law who loves buying clothes. She's found eBay in her 70s and she's completely bonkers and she buys all these clothes and she buys them for me. And then the other day she said to me, come on, let's take this thing and let's adapt it and address it, you know, because I didn't like it. And she was like, come on, she's a sewing person. And she stood me in front of the mirror and I was horrified. I am horrified. I cannot look at myself in the mirror. So photographs are not my friend.
Yeah.
This is very deep, a very deep wound that's coming all the way through my life.
Yeah.
And it is irrelevant, really, of my size. But currently, I have got something that I don't want to look at.
Yeah.
There we
Thank
are.
you for sharing that, Rachel. Really appreciate that. But
Thank
yeah, it's very real. The body dysmorphia is very real. And it's just like, you know, I can relate to that hugely. That's been my story too, you know. Always saw myself as huge. Huge. Never was huge until I got huge. I think I got huge. And then since then, I suppose I've been working on it, you know, making myself be on the video, making myself do photographs, making myself do it. And then actually going, oh, because when you look back, you know, sort of I look back on videos and things 6 months ago and I go, yeah, you don't look too bad, really. You know, so I'm actually, it's sort of like it's actually loving self, isn't it? It's all about self-love. And that's what all of this is about, really, is self-love. And so if we don't love self, then we're going to self-sabotage, aren't we? We're always going to self-sabotage because we don't love ourselves. We don't appreciate ourselves. We don't, yeah. Gosh, this is quite a deep conversation, this one, isn't it?
Are we going to edit some of this out?
No,
No?
I don't
Okay.
think so. I think it can go in the group. We're not going to share it.
Yeah, as
far
long
and
as it doesn't
wide.
go further than the group.
No, it won't go further than the group.
Hey,
No.
darling. This is my
Hey, guys.
gorgeous daughter
Hi, Mira.
coming to say good night. Right, sweetheart.
Okay, good night. Night, guys.
Good night. Yeah, if it's not going past this group, I'd like to share something. When Mira was about 5, I took part in a photo shoot called The Golden Maidens, run by an amazing lady called Mandy, who runs a charity called Everybody is a Treasure. And Rachel, I recommend have a wee look at what she does, because she's a beautiful, voluptuous, amazing woman, and she's a photographer, and she does workshops. Obviously, she's here in New Zealand, but she does some online stuff as well. And she's actually done a movie. And we met, and we all went topless, and we had our torsos painted with gold clay because we were golden maidens. And I took my daughter with me. I was a single mum, and a lot of people were horrified that I would subject my child to women being partly naked. And I said, well, actually, it's the complete opposite. It's about body, awareness and understanding that we're all so different. And they took photos, from here down, and we all had to wear black pants so that the top looked the same. And it was amazing. There were some women with no boobs, like surgically removed. There were some who had gigantic boobs, some that were lopsided. It was really eye-opening. It was quite special. And And then these photographs were displayed in a art gallery, and there must have been about 500 or 600 photos. And I took my, at that point, new partner Trevor and Mira to this exhibition. Mira would have been about 5 or 6, and within minutes, Mira identified my photograph, and it was here, down to just below my belly button. And I recently got a copy of this photo, like only a couple of weeks ago, and I thought back then I was really thin, and I actually wasn't. So it's sort of like the opposite of what Rachel was just saying,
Yeah.
So I've got this photo, thinking I was going to have like a before photo, but it's I'm actually slimmer now since doing this carnivore and fast track, and it's been quite a shift in my head of how we see ourselves and compare ourselves to other people, and the whole process of self-acceptance and self-love is quite a journey, and it is, you're right, it's a very emotional, deeply set thing, and so much of it is because we're conditioned through all our lives, especially as young girls, that we should look a certain way or should do this and should be that. And I'd love to help anyone break that wall down. It's something I'm quite passionate about, and I personally believe I helped Mira have a fairly good body image that she has now, and just attitude about how everyone is so different,
Yeah.
And it was really quite special. But I encourage you to have a wee look at Everybody is a Treasure, it's called.
You haven't got a link, have you, sir?
Somewhere. I do.
Maybe you could find that for us. That'd be
I will make a note for myself now.
Pop it in the group, and then everyone can have a look. Because I think, we all have perceptions, don't we?
Yeah. I'll just
Perceptions
or
of what we look
700.
like, what we should look like,
Yeah.
and what we don't look like. And the thing is that I think, our brains are amazing. We can get everything. We can create a new body when we're ready. But we have to have those layers let go of. Our emotional layers, our physical layers. We've got these barriers that we create. We've got a emotional barrier of stuff that's happened when we're younger, and then we've got physical stuff, that we are exposed to, and then another emotional layer, and then we have all these different layers that we have to let go. And that's what we're in the process of doing. Letting go. Yeah. That's
I've just found it, so I'm going to pop it in. Oh, somebody already has. There you go. Thank you, Rachel. You've beat me to it faster than I am. There you go.
Teamwork, Sam. Teamwork. That's very cool. Okay. Right. Anyone got any body image stuff you want to share, or anything like that? Anything that's come to mind when we've been talking? Okay. Maybe not. It's cool. All right, lovelies. I think it's probably a perfect time to draw to a close, unless there's anything else you want to discuss. Rachel.
Yeah, I do want to just follow up on that. And that is to say, thank you for that share there. Is it Sai, not Sarah? Sai, yeah.
It's Sarah.
Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Just, I would love to follow it up. I'm obviously going to look at that lady's site. Thank you. It looks wonderful. Just love the opening of what she said. Just briefly looked at it. But, to be able to do positive affirmations. I know in the past, Karen on doing your programs, to using the quantum essences and all the different things. Well, there's all that magic that's in each of the fast track products. Obviously, they're all in there, but they all do have a positive affirmation, don't they? Each of the quantums, and it occurred to me that I think I was loving your suggestion to put something on your fridge, but the power of affirmation is wonderful, and I think that I'm talking to myself. All right, thank you for being my mirror, everybody. 'Cause, is to do that. Is I'm going to work with affirmations this week. I'm going to see how that impacts me. Just something that's very simple about how I can I reprogram myself with more self-love. I like the EFT tapping as well. I wanted to say that I do find it a bit difficult to press the button and find it on this Zoom screen sometimes, but I want to say how much I love the idea of EFT tapping, because I had thought about doing hypnosis in asking for my guides about what I need to do to heal this, and to deeply be embodied in a healthy, happy, body that's whatever size and shape it is, but to love my body, is very deep. I think EFT tapping is a wonderful idea, Karen. I think we've got to do mind, all sorts of different things to go at the process of self-love of the body. And I love your EFT suggestion. And me personally, I'm just going to stand here and say to you guys, I'm going to work on affirmations this week.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
go you. And
I might ask Lisa to join us on a Monday and do an EFT session, because
that'd be cool.
she's released a lot of weight through doing EFT, and that's why she's so passionate about it. And so I think I'm talking to her tomorrow, so I'll see if we can make a plan for her to come and join us and do a session, because I think it would be so beneficial for everyone to try it. Doesn't work, it's the same with everything. Nothing works for everyone, but boy oh boy, it's definitely worth a try. I love it. EFT. So thank you.
On Rachel, with Mandy Lee, Mandy Lynn, she's actually really approachable too. Like, I just emailed her and I got a personal response back from her. She's really down to earth and lovely. She does all sorts of different workshops with mothers and daughters and things like that too. So I highly recommend reach out to her. She might just have something up your alley. But in the meantime, I do agree. Affirmations are great, but also embracing your curves is one of my favorite sayings. And actually embrace and hug yourself. It's huge, I know, but give it a go.
It's interesting because I saw that on some thing, and it's basically, I think it might be a Mind Valley or something like that. It's basically by hugging yourself, because that's what happened with your mum,
Yeah, it's activating the it's care pathways, isn't it? It's really, you can self-soothe. What you just did, I can't do it because I'm holding the phone, but you you cross over the chest and you stroke down the arm, and it really is very beautiful, self-soothing. So yes, and I love, it's like this silk. This is one of my mother-in-law's things she got for me, this kaftan, and it's so silky, and I just stroke it and it's beautiful. But I can do all that, you see. If you knew my background, it's sacred intimacy and sexuality, but that's for another time. It's all quite complex, but yes, I do love a good stroke on a nice piece of silkiness or a skin. Yes, that's very nice. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I've loved this conversation. Thank you, lovely ladies, for joining us this evening, and I look forward to seeing you next week, but I look forward to hearing how you're going in the group. Please don't hesitate to ask your questions, share your wins and any struggles that you might be having, because that's what we're here for, to share. And so, all right, my lovelies, have a good evening. Lots of love.
Good night.
Speak to you soon.
Have a great week.
Bye.